Gently settle into a place of stillness. Close your eyes and imagine the softest blanket of twilight wrapping around you. Hear the distant hum of crickets, the whisper of a breeze through lace curtains, and the gentle crackle of a hearth fire. Let every muscle soften, as if sinking into a velvet armchair. Our story today begins in a quiet Victorian parlor, where the scent of chamomile tea mingles with the faint fragrance of cedar wood polish. The grandfather clock ticks like a heartbeat, steady, slow, lulling. Tonight, the children of the Hartwell family are nestled in their parents' study. Their father, Mr. Hartwell, sits in his leather armchair, a leather-bound book titled The Tendril and the Thorn resting on his lap. Its pages are edged in gold, and its spine gleams faintly in the lamplight. His voice is a low murmur, like leaves brushing against a window pane. "Children," he begins, "do you know how roses bloom in the garden?" His daughter, Clara, leans forward, her braided hair brushing the arm of her chair. "It's the rain and the sun, Papa," she whispers. Her brother Thomas frowns, tracing the pattern of the rug with his finger. "But isn't there something else?" Their mother, Mrs. Hartwell, hesitates at the door. Her hands clutch an embroidered handkerchief, her cheeks flushed. She believes such topics are best left unspoken. Mentioning life's mysteries, she thinks, might unsettle their innocence. Yet tonight, her husband's patience and calmness beckon her to step inside. Mr. Hartwell places the book open on his knee, revealing illustrations of vines entwining a thorny stem. "You're right, Clara," he says. "Sun and rain help plants grow, but do you see how the tendril wraps around the thorn? It's a dance of partnership. Without both, neither could climb so high." Thomas squints at the page. "Are you saying people are like roses?" His father's smile is warm. "In a way, yes. Just as a rose needs care to bloom, people grow through kindness, respect, and understanding. But some things," he adds softly, "are private, like the code to the family safe. We share them only when trust is deep and hearts are ready." Clara's gaze drifts to the fire. At the mantel, a brass pendulum swings rhythmically, tick, 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 as if echoing her heartbeat. Her mother watches from the shadows, conflicted. Her own childhood was filled with silence on such matters. How could words alone protect her children from the world's shadows? Later, as the children retire to their room, Thomas peers out the window at the moonlit garden. The roses glow silver, their stems sharp and proud. Clara joins him, her nightgown rustling like fresh linen. "Do you think Papa's stories are true?" she asks. Thomas shrugs. "Maybe, but the thorns. They look scary." Clara hesitates, then slips a hand into his. "They're just part of the rose, aren't they? It's like how Mama gets cross when we're noisy." The pendulum's tick fades as their breaths deepen. Somewhere downstairs, Mr. Hartwell paces the study, rehearsing tomorrow's lesson. Mrs. Hartwell sits by the fire, stitching a quilted patchwork of colors. Each square a silent promise to her children. "You are safe here. You are loved." Now imagine drifting with the pendulum's rhythm. Let the warmth of the hearth seep into your bones. The father's voice is a distant lullaby, hence the mother's silence, a gentle shelter. The children's questions, like fireflies, fade into the night. As the clock's hands near midnight, the house exhales. The pendulum slows. The fire's embers dim to constellations. Somewhere in the quiet, a rosebud stirs in the garden, unfurling one petal at a time. Let yourself sink deeper into the stillness. Feel the weight of your eyelids, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. The world outside fades, and all that remains is the warmth of this story. Our tale continues in the Hartwell garden, where morning light filters through the wisteria. Clara and Thomas kneel beside their father, who points to a cluster of bluebells. "Do you see how they bow their heads?" he murmurs, his voice like honey. "They wait for the right moment to unfold, just as you will in time." Clara plucks a petal, its edges damp with dew. "What if we're not ready, Papa?" she whispers. Mr. Hartwell's smile is gentle. "Readiness is like these flowers, it cannot be forced. It blooms when the heart feels safe." He glances toward the house, where Mrs. Hartwell watches from the window. Her expression softens, though her grip on the lace curtain tightens. That evening, as thunder rumbles in the distance, the family gathers again by the hearth. The pendulum swings faster, its rhythm matching the rain against the windows. Mr. Hartwell opens his book to a story of two fawns learning to navigate the forest. "Even in nature," he reads, "there are boundaries to respect. Just as a fawn would not leap into a storm, You must honor your own limits. Thomas shifts in his chair. What if someone tries to make you leap anyway? The room falls silent. Mrs. Hartwell enters, her footsteps muffled by the rug. She perches on the edge of the sofa, her presence a quiet counterpoint to her husband's open words. She says softly, "You find your voice, even if it trembles." Clara studies her mother's hands, now still, like when you told Aunt Eleanor to mind her own tea. A faint smile tugs at Mrs. Hartwell's lips. Precisely. Days pass like pages turning. Clara begins to notice the way the maid's cheeks flush when Mr. Hartwell speaks of proper conduct. Thomas watches stable boys whispering by the hayloft, their laughter sharp as knives. At night, the children lie awake, their thoughts tangled like ivy on a trellis. One afternoon, Clara finds her mother in the sewing room, mending a lace collar. "Mama," she begins, "why won't you talk about what Papa does?" Mrs. Hartwell's needle pauses. Some things, she says, are like the threads in this fabric. They hold everything together, but they're hidden beneath the surface. Clara bites her lip. But what if the threads snap? Her mother's gaze meets hers, steady and clear. Then we weave new ones, together. In the study, Mr. Hartwell pores over a pamphlet titled "The Pure and the Fallen." His brow furrows as he reads of fallen women and corrupted youth. He writes notes in the margin, his quill scratching like a cricket's song. Edward, his wife, says from the doorway, "Are you certain this is wise?" He looks up, his eyes tired but resolute. If we don't guide them, who will? The world outside these walls is harsher than any storm. She steps closer, her shadow mingling with his. Then perhaps we meet it halfway. Autumn arrives, painting the garden in amber and gold. The children stand at the fence, watching a traveling physician unload his wagon. Mr. Hartwell has invited him to speak on healthful living, a phrase that makes Mrs. Hartwell's hands clutch her teacup. During the lecture, the physician describes the body as a clockwork mechanism, delicate and precise. Overuse or neglect, he intones, can lead to irreparable damage. Thomas raises his hand. What about thoughts? The ones that feel like storms inside your head. The room stirs. The physician hesitates, then nods. Those too must be tended, with prayer, with reason, and with time. Clara notices her mother's gaze fixed on her father, a silent conversation passing between them. That night, as the moon hangs low, the Hartwells sit together on the porch. The physician's words linger like smoke in the air. Mr. Hartwell takes his wife's hand, their fingers intertwining. "We cannot shield them forever," he says. Mrs. Hartwell sighs. "No, but we can. Walk beside them." Clara and Thomas, wrapped in a shared blanket, listen to the crickets' chorus. For the first time, the darkness outside the fence doesn't feel quite so vast. The pendulum in the house ticks on, steady and sure. The garden sleeps, its secrets wrapped in moonlight. And somewhere, a rosebud stirs again, ready to face another day. Now, let the rhythm of the pendulum carry you deeper. Feel the warmth of the porch, the coolness of the night. The Hartwell's journey is your journey, slow, careful, and always toward the light. Let your breath match the ticking clock. Slower, deeper, until all that remains is peace. Let yourself drift deeper now. Feel the coolness of the night air against your skin, the gentle sway of the porch as the wind carries the scent of damp earth and blooming jasmine. Your breath slows, each inhale and exhale matching the rhythm of the pendulum inside the house. Tick, tick. Our story continues as the Hartwell children venture beyond the garden gate for the first time. Autumn has given way to winter, and the world outside is wrapped in a blanket of snow. Clara and Thomas trudge alongside their father toward the village church, where a lecture on proper conduct is being held for the youth. Their mother remains at home, her hands busy with knitting, her mind preoccupied with thoughts she cannot yet voice. Inside the church, the air is thick with the smell of pine and damp wool. The Reverend, a man with a voice like gravel, stands before a crowd of fidgeting children and stern-faced parents. He speaks of temptations and fallen paths, his words sharp enough to cut through the silence. The body, he declares, is a temple. To defile it is to defy God's plan. Thomas sits rigid in his pew, his mind racing. Clara, beside him, traces the pattern of snowflakes on the window pane with her finger. Neither can shake the feeling that something crucial is missing from the Reverend S-word. Something their father has hinted at but never fully explained. Later, as the family returns home beneath the sky, ink black and star-studded, Mr. Hartwell lingers at the back of the carriage. "What did you think of the lecture?" he asks softly. Clara shrugs. It felt cold, like ice on a wound. Thomas nods. He didn't talk about the roses, or the way the fawns hide in the tall grass. Their father's smile is faint but knowing. No, he didn't. Because some lessons, he says, his voice barely above a whisper, are better learned in sunlight than shadows. Mrs. Hartwell, seated across from them, watches this exchange with a mix of anxiety and curiosity. She recalls her own childhood, filled with warnings but no wisdom, and wonders perhaps for the first time if there might be another way. Back in the warmth of their parlor, the children settle by the fire. Mr. Hartwell retrieves his leather-bound book and opens it to a new page. This time, the illustrations depict a flock of geese flying in formation. "Even birds," he begins, "understand the importance of guidance and consent. When they mate, it's a choice and mutual journey. Just as in life, partnerships require both parties to agree, to protect, and to nurture." Clara's eyes widen. "So love isn't just happening to you?" she asks. "No," her father replies. "Love is a garden you tend together. If someone tries to force their way in," he adds gently, locking eyes with Thomas, "you have the right to build a stronger fence." Silence follows his words, broken only by the crackle of burning logs. Mrs. Hartwell, who's quietly joined them, studies her husband's face. She sees not recklessness, but a profound care desire to equip their children with armor made not of fear but of knowledge. That night, as the children prepare for bed, Clara lingers in the hallway. "Mama," she calls softly. Mrs. Hartwell turns, her nightgown shimmering in the moonlight. "Yes, dear." Clara hesitates, then blurts out, "Why do you think Papa tells us these things? Aren't you worried we'll get hurt?" Her mother steps closer, brushing a strand of hair from Clara's cheek. "I worry every day," she admits. "But hurt comes in many forms. Ignorance can wound just as deeply as a knife." She pauses, her voice trembling slightly. "Your father and I, we want you to have more than we did, even if it scares me sometimes." Clara hugs her mother tightly, the scent of lavender and rosewater filling her senses. For a moment, the weight of the world outside fades, replaced by the quiet strength of a mother's confession. In the study, Mr. Hartwell sits alone, the fire's glow painting his face in warm hues. He pens a letter to a moral reformer he admires, his quill moving with deliberate care. "We walk a tightrope," he writes, "between protection and preparation. But I believe our children deserve to see the path ahead, even if it's lined with thorns." As he seals the letter with wax, the clock strikes midnight. The pendulum's rhythm lulls him into a thoughtful drowse, his dreams filled with gardens that bloom in secret, their colors vibrant and unafraid. Outside, the snow continues to fall, each flake a silent promise. The Hartwell house stands as a beacon of warmth in the winter night, its windows glowing like lanterns. Inside, the children sleep, their dreams tangled with roses, fawns, and geese, images of life's delicate balance between freedom and care. Now, imagine yourself as part of this scene. Feel the softness of the snow beneath your feet, the comfort of a loved one's voice. Let the pendulum's swing guide your breathing, slower, deeper, until all that remains is the peaceful hum of a world learning to speak its truths gently. Let the tranquility envelop you further. Feel the softness of your bedding, the gentle warmth of the morning sun as it filters through sheer curtains. The house awakens with a quiet grace, a creaking floorboard here, a distant bird's chirp there. The pendulum's rhythm now mirrors your own heartbeat, steady, soothing. Our story resumes at dawn as the Hartwell home stirs from its slumber. Clara and Thomas emerge from their room, their nightgowns trailing behind them like wisps of fog. The fire in the hearth has reduced to embers, but the smell of freshly ground coffee drifts from the kitchen, mingling with the earthy scent of opened windows. Mrs. Hartwell stands at the stove, her movements deliberate as she prepares breakfast. She places a plate of scones on the table, each one dusted with sugar like a snowy peak. "Good morning, dears," she says, her voice softer than usual. Clara hesitates at the threshold. "Mama, may we speak of what Papa taught us with you?" Mrs. Hartwell turns, her eyes searching Clara's face. For a moment, the years of unspoken thoughts hang between them. Then she nods. "Yes, it." As the family gathers around the table, the atmosphere shifts subtly, irrevocably. Mr. Hartwell joins them, his usual morning newspaper set aside. He pours coffee, the liquid's rich aroma filling the space. "Your mother and I," he begins, "have decided to answer any questions you may have. Together." Thomas's fork clatters against his plate. "Really? Even about the thorns?" Clara elbows him lightly, but Mrs. Hartwell smiles. "Especially about the thorns." She takes a deep breath. "When I was your age, my mother told me marriage was like a garden. Some parts are beautiful, others prickly. But you tend to it with care, and it flourishes." Mr. Hartwell reaches for her hand. "If the garden becomes overgrown." "Yes, gently." "Then you prune it," she replies, her voice steady, with courage and clarity. After breakfast, the children retreat to the garden, where the snow has melted into muddy puddles. Clara kneels beside a patch of earth, her fingers brushing against the soil. "Do you think Mama will always be this open?" she wonders aloud. Thomas shrugs, tossing a pebble into a puddle. "Papa says, change is like a river. Slow, but it wears away mountains." As they play, Mrs. Hartwell watches from the kitchen window. Her reflection overlays the glass of a woman torn between the past and future, yet finding footing in the present. She thinks of the conversations to come, the mistakes they'll make, the growth that will unfold. And for the first time, she feels not fear, but anticipation. In the study, Mr. Hartwell receives a letter from the moral reformer to whom he wrote. The reply is filled with praise and a single caution. Arm them with truth, but remember some battles are waged within. He pockets the letter, his resolve unshaken. That evening, as the family reconvenes by the hearth, the atmosphere hums with a quiet courage. Clara asks about love beyond marriage. Thomas inquires about dreams that feel too vast to grasp. Their parents answer with a blend of experience and openness, each response a thread in the tapestry of understanding. The pendulum ticks on, its sound now a comfort rather than a reminder of passing time. Now, as the story winds down, imagine yourself nestled in that hearthside chair. The Hartwell's journey mirrors your own drift toward sleep, each question answered, each uncertainty eased by the warmth of voices that care. Let the fire's embers become stars, the ticking clock a distant heartbeat. The world outside may be vast and wild, but here in this moment there is only peace. Let your thoughts follow the pendulums lower, deeper, until you're carried into the gentle realm of dreams, where roses bloom without thorns. And every answer waits, patient and kind, for when you're ready to wake.